And when you do come up short, you push yourself to learn why. And there was plenty of opportunities today where I gave up, and I didn't give up. I missed an opportunity and I lost out, and I learned from it.
When a NASCAR driver tells the entire sport he doesn't care about their biggest debate, you know something big just happened. Bubba Wallace just shut down every format argument with 5 simple words that have the racing world talking. While drivers like Kyle Busch and Joey Logano keep arguing about NASCAR's playoff system, Wallace walked up to reporters at Bristol Motor Speedway and said something nobody expected. When asked about the heated debates over changing the championship format, the 2311 racing driver didn't hold back. "You can leave me out of the format talks. I'm going to go race whatever it is and try to be the best at that. I could give 2 craps about how it is."
You can leave me out of the format talks. If I have a contract and have a car and have a team and all this stuff, I'm going to go race whatever it is and try to be the best at that. Like, I could give 2 craps about how it is.
That statement hit NASCAR like a lightning bolt. Here's a driver in the middle of his best season ever, sitting pretty in the playoffs, telling everyone he doesn't want to hear their complaints about how champions get crowned. But Wallace wasn't done. He kept going with a message that makes perfect sense when you think about it. We have a job. This is what we are paid to do and paid to beat the rest. And once you do that, you become champion. Doesn't matter what format that is, you are the best of that current format.
We have a job. This is what we are paid to do, and we're paid to beat the best, beat the rest, right? And once you do that, you become champion. Cool. Doesn't matter what format it is. You were the best of that current format. So
now, to understand why this matters so much, you need to know what's been happening behind the scenes. NASCAR's current playoff system has been under attack from all directions. The sport uses what fans call a 3-3-3-1 format. That means 3 rounds of 3 races each, then one final race where the last 4 drivers battle for the championship. Veteran drivers hate it. Racing legends like Mark Martin and Richard Petty think it's unfair. Even Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been vocal about wanting change. They all say the current system puts too much importance on one single race instead of rewarding the best driver all season long. The latest rumors say NASCAR might switch to a 3-3-4 system for 2026. That would mean the championship gets decided over 4 races instead of just 1. Drivers like Chase Elliott support this idea because it gives a bigger sample size to crown the real champion. Chase Briscoe agrees, saying a 4-race finale would force drivers to be more well-rounded. Briscoe said, "You have to be more consistent and elevate your game for 4 weeks in a row." But Wallace, he's having none of it. While everyone else argues about fairness and formats, he's focused on something different: racing. And here's the crazy part. His approach is working better than anyone could have imagined. This is the same Bubba Wallace who went 100 races without a win, the same driver who missed the playoffs last year, the same guy who used to get upset and let his emotions hurt his racing. But something changed in 2025, and it's not just his attitude toward playoff debates. Wallace won his first crown jewel race at the Brickyard 400 in July. That victory ended his winless streak and punched his ticket to the playoffs for only the 2nd time in his 8-year Cup Series career. But winning that race was just the beginning. Right now, Wallace sits 4th in the playoff standings with a 50-point cushion above the cutoff line. He's got 12 top 10 finishes and 4 top 5s this season. Those numbers already beat his entire 2024 season, and there are still 9 races left.
Just try to be the best at it. But yeah, I thought, like, why do the points need to reset? I'm saying that obviously now I'm 50 points to the good, right? I don't want to go back to where I was. Like, let's just keep the points going.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the thought. And I'm only saying that because I'm
of course
in a good spot.
Thank you, Bubba.
Yeah.
Steve Letarte and Kyle Petty, 2 respected voices in NASCAR, have been telling everyone to take Wallace seriously as a playoff contender. Letarte said on his podcast that while Wallace might not have the raw speed of drivers like Chase Briscoe or Denny Hamlin, yet he's playing his best racing right now. The 23 team is delivering at precisely the right moment, Letarte said about Wallace's playoff run. What makes this even more impressive is what Wallace dealt with to get here. Last year, he finished 18th in points with 0 wins. His teammate Tyler Reddick was chasing the championship while Wallace watched from the sidelines. But the biggest change in Wallace's life happened off the track. On September 29, 2024, he and his wife Amanda welcomed their first child, Bex Hayden Wallace. That baby boy changed everything about how Wallace approaches racing. This new mindset shows up on the track too. At Darlington in the playoff opener, Wallace nearly collided with Josh Berry in the first stage and lost several positions. In previous years, that kind of setback would have rattled him and hurt his entire race. This time, he and his team stayed calm, focused on recovery, and finished 6th. Team owner Denny Hamlin noticed the change immediately. Denny said, "Where Bubba's made the biggest gains is understanding that this is a 500-mile race, not a 300-mile, and understanding how to get to the finish and optimize his day." But Wallace's success story has a dark cloud hanging over it. His team, 23XI Racing, is fighting a legal battle with NASCAR over the charter system. The team, co-owned by Hamlin and basketball legend Michael Jordan, could be forced out of business after this season if they lose their lawsuit. Reports suggest that both Wallace and his teammate Tyler Reddick face uncertain futures. The team has stated they could be out of business following the 2025 Cup Series season if the legal fight doesn't go their way. Yet Wallace refuses to let that uncertainty distract him. Just like with the format debates, he's focusing on what he can control, his racing. This approach has completely changed how fans see him. Wallace used to be one of NASCAR's most polarizing figures. As the sport's only full-time black driver, he faced extra scrutiny. His role in NASCAR's decision to ban Confederate flags at races divided fans. Previous on-track incidents with popular drivers like Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman made him a target for criticism. But in 2025, the tide has turned. Fans on social media are praising Wallace's transformation and rooting for his success. One fan wrote, "Bubba only needing 7 points at Bristol to clinch a round 12 spot was not on my bingo card headed into the playoffs. This first round has been surreal." Another fan called it beautiful to see Wallace's redemption story play out. The numbers back up the fan excitement. Wallace can clinch his spot in the round of 12 with just 7 points at Bristol if there's a repeat winner or if someone already eliminated wins the race. In most scenarios, he's in great shape to advance. Wallace's crew chief Charles Danique deserves credit too. The team has been executing pit stops better, making smart strategy calls, and giving Wallace fast race cars when it matters most. But it's Wallace's mental approach that sets him apart now. When asked what people get wrong about him, Wallace was typically direct. "The stuff that I see is, I don't like his attitude." Like they took our interview from Playoffs Media Day, and they're like, "Look at him. He's so arrogant." What did I have to be arrogant about in that situation? He explained how his sarcasm gets misunderstood by people who already don't like him. They already are on the fence, or they already don't like me, so they take my sarcasm and they're like, "Yep, see, told you he's an a-hole." But Wallace has learned not to care about those critics. That attitude extends to his thoughts on NASCAR's star power problem. Wallace believes the sport needs drivers who can break through to mainstream popularity. He thinks Kyle Larson has that potential, but notes that even top drivers like Chase Elliott or Ryan Blaney wouldn't be recognized walking through New York City.